It's Robert August coming to you from Real out in Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. I'm here for the Memorial Day weekend. There's lots of folks out here doing all kinds of activities, enjoying life, having a good time, and I'm going to give you a little rundown here about the surfboards that we've got available out here at the store. It's known as a replica, and it's as close as I can remember to the board that I rode in the endless summer. The boards then were flat. They had almost no rocker. They were really heavy because the glass jobs were as heavy as could be because everybody was so afraid of getting a ding. They had a big giant fin on them, which made it equally difficult to turn. But for those days, it was state of the art. You know, Jacobs was the coolest board there was, and most of the good surfers, even in the world, rode them those days. So this is the board that I rode in the endless summer, as close as I can remember to what it was. The board that's here in the store, it's a super fancy summer classic. It's just like a super deluxe Cadillac Mercedes of longboards. It's 3 stringers, beautiful foggy gray tint with nose block, tail block, beautiful pin line work, and if you become the proud owner of one of these boards, you've got a very exclusive, very cool board, and also a really good board to ride for everyday surfing. The What I Ride series is pretty much, as you know, it states the board that I ride, and it's a very versatile board. If I'm going to have a board and surf in different conditions in different spots around the world, I want a board that paddles good, that turns reasonably good, that nose rides a little bit, and I can handle it in a lot of different conditions. The Tough Lights, it's a board built by Surf Tech with technology as styrofoam epoxy. They're light and strong, great boards to travel with because your chance of getting a ding are less than a regular polyester board. And if you do happen to own one, and where you surf every day, if you're going to travel, most places now have surfboards for rent. So you can call ahead and reserve a board that is exactly the same board you have at home. When you get there, the board's waiting for you, and you're not worried about getting someplace and renting some board that's not particularly what you like. You will be riding exactly the board you have at home. The classic wood, What I Rides, are it's the same shape exactly, but it's got this beautiful application of veneer on it. And the job they do on these boards in Thailand is just incredible. They're works of art. The same thing as the replica board. A lot of people, they're afraid to get a ding in it, and they won't go out and ride it. They put it in the office or the den. But I do see some adventuresome guys out there. They're proud of them, and they like the way they ride. It's a good board. Harley Inglesby rides my surfboards in Australia. He's a great surfer. He can ride anything. But his forte is the longboards, and as of right now, 2010, he's the world champion longboarder. The boards that we're making available here in the United States is an exact replica of the board that he surfs in competitions. So if you want to actually surf a competitive longboard, it's thin, it's light, it's got quite a bit of rocker in it. It's super versatile for doing aerials, off the lips, and all the things that you want to do in a competition. If you want to ride the board that the world champions ride, that's the board you want to jump on. The Havasu fish is, the short fish that are real popular these days. We're confident that it's one of the best fishes out there to ride. We've experimented with a lot of shapes, and Rob Havasu is a super surf artist. He's got a great book on surfing art and different stories from surfers around the world. And so we just combine, our shape with that board with some of his art on it, and it's pretty popular. People like it. It's pretty much the regular wingnut board, the concept, the rocker, the width, the thickness, and everything, but just obviously with more nose up there. If you really want to concentrate on your nose riding, it'll make it easier. Wingnut's board he rides every day doesn't have a real wide nose, but he's so darn good he can nose ride anything. But this wingnut model with a wider nose has all the personality of a regular wingnut with the speed and the paddling, but it's a better nose rider than the average wingnut. Generally, wingnut's boards have less rocker than the What I Ride and a lot of the other longboards. Wingnut, if you watch him surf, he goes fast. He has a lot of speed down the line, and he's such a good surfer that he turns them well, just because he's great. But your average surfer might be a little bit slower on the turns because there's not a lot of rocker. They not only go fast on the wave, but they even paddle fast. So that's wingnut style. Him and Mark Martinson kind of collaborated on these shapes. And I had a funny question for Martinson. I suggested he put a little more tail rocker in them so, you know, they could cut back a little easier. And their response was, well, why do you want to cut back? I've already been back there. I don't want to go back there. I've been there. And I just had to laugh and go, okay, I'll take that. Wingnut's board he rides every day doesn't have a real wide nose, but he's so darn good he can nose ride anything. But this wingnut model with a wider nose has all the personality of a regular wingnut with the speed and the paddling, but it's a better nose rider than the average wingnut. People out here, you know, curious about where I spend most of my time these days because I travel so much, and I'm actually, you know, still living in Huntington Beach. That's, you know, the center of the surfing world. That's where I've always lived, but I still spend quite a bit of time in Costa Rica. I love it there, and you know, when it gets cold in the wintertime, I'm like the ducks. You know, I go south, and you can always count on a great time in Costa Rica. The Sabre is shaped by Mike Minchinton, who's worked for me for 20 years. He knows everything I know about surfboards. We work closely together. I taught him how to shape the real balsa wood boards years ago, and he's even better at it than I am now because he does it on a regular basis. And the Sabre model is it's got a narrower tail, narrower all the way around board. We actually sell quite a few of those in Hawaii. Guys ride them in big waves. So. And it's got a narrow, edgy tail. It's a little diamond tail, and it's fast and pretty versatile board. But with the three fins back there, it will hold in a really hollow way. The HP, it's not really a high performance board. It's a pretty good all around board, but compared to the what I ride, it's got a little narrower tail. It's a round pin instead of a square tail. So there's a lot of release. The board turns really easy, but it's got the real similar nose to the what I ride. It's got some nose up there with the concave, so it's a good nose rider. Most of the high performance longboards you ride don't have much of a nose to actually get up there comfortably. They're narrower with a bunch of rocker in the nose, which is not real conducive to nose riding. You get on a board with a bunch of rocker and you get on the nose and the fins come out and you slide sideways. So it's kind of a combination of where you can nose ride pretty good on this board, and you can also go up and hit the lip and do those type of maneuvers if you want. I think it's a really good all-around board. And you know, along the lines of the what I ride, being surfboards that I could ride in a lot of different conditions, this is the what I paddle is similar in that it's not a specialty stand-up paddle for any particular thing, but it should be a good one for whatever you want to do. But the stand-up paddle we actually designed it to be versatile, be a great board for as many people as possible to ride. It should be good for beginners. It should be good in flat water, and you would be able to ride it in, you know, small fun waves if you're good enough to do that. But for everyday stand-up paddle, we think it's a great board. Well, part of the deal that really keeps me excited about surfing is events like this, where I come back here and meet a bunch of new people, new friends. I've ridden 3 different surf spots in the last 3 days that I've never surfed before. You know, the conditions were medium. I still had fun, caught a lot of waves, and hung out at beaches I'd never been before. And as far as I'm concerned, life can't get much better than that.